Hello and welcome to the TenKei ATM YouTube channel. The title of this video is What is the 2-to-1 ratio and what does it mean? Well, in relation to trading the financial markets, it means this. Here's a nice example, or a nice example of a 2-to-1 ratio to the long side, buying. Watch this. Market goes up, pulls back. Watch this. Again, market goes up, pulls back twice. 1, 2. Goes up, pulls back 3 times. So, okay, in this ratio, this is a trade, a basic trade, a technique. Goes up, pulls back. This, as it goes up, you could say is your low. Okay, so now this is your low. This is a point where you don't want the price to go beyond. But as the price goes up, comes back, goes up and breaks this point here. Okay, this now is your entry point. This is your exit point should it go against you. We have measured the distance between these two numbers here, this number here, and you can do it yourself, and this number here, because you will always rewind it, check it out, is 27.21 points. Okay, 27.21 points. A 2-to-1 ratio says, okay, if this is 27 between here, these numbers here, and these numbers here, as you can see, do the calculations. If it's 27.21, a 2-to-1 ratio will say, 2-to-1 ratio would say, multiply that 27.21 by 2. That equals 54.42. You would add that number of 54.42 to this number. It equals this number here. So in relation to this chart here, where this low here is that number there, this entry point here is that number there, we would want or expect the market to continue going up until it reaches twice the distance of this and this. Subtract this from this, you get your figure. Multiply it by 2, you get a figure here, and that is a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, so if you had, for instance, a simple calculation based on this, a 2-to-1 ratio, if this distance here between here and here was 5, and distance between here and here would be what? 10. If you placed 10 trades and you had 5 losing trades, that would equal 25. If you had 5 winning trades, that would equal 50. So your total points for that time period, whatever it may be, will be 25. So it makes more sense to have a 2-to-1 ratio than a 1-to-1 ratio. But this is what a 2-to-1 ratio means in relation to trading the financial markets. It means this. Or that. And if we wanted to go short, if you want to go short, same thing. You'd have it coming down, prices coming down, it goes up, look, 3 bars going up, comes back down, so that would be, this point here would be your exit or your stop. Now we're using a red line to say get in here. Price goes past. The distance between this line and this line, or these numbers, equals 16.56 between here and here. Multiply it by 2 equals 33.12. So distance between here and here, subtract that number of 33.12 from here, it equals this number here. So using the 2-to-1 ratio, we would expect the price to get to here. In this example, it did. 2-to-1 ratio. 2-to-1 ratio. Watch the video over and over again. Now, watch this. This is the Dow. On our long example of the 2-to-1 ratio, we're looking at the Dow. The Dow moves fast. The Dow is good for this. The time, or the date, was the 4th of February 2021, just after the US Open. But it was over here in the UK. It's around about 2 o'clock, well, after 2:30 p.m. and it's 9:13 in New York. Okay, so that's an example there of a nice trade moving up. Between 2:30 or 9:30 a.m. New York time and 10:30 a.m. that's called the amateur hour. So you've got to be careful because it will move wildly, but you can get some good moves here. 2-to-1 ratio. This example here is the previous day. So we found what looked good, perfect trades. Previous day, the 3rd of February, still within the trading times and hours for the US, and here in the UK around about 5 p.m. In the US it would have been about noontime. But there's an example, it's like a double whammy, giving you an idea of what trades we look for and what a 2-to-1 ratio is. So the TTT does this for you on auto. But if you know what to do, just like this, we're showing you, you can trade that for yourself. And if you decide you wish to trade manually, you can always use a TTT alongside this. So now you're seeing an example of a long trade or buy, a short trade or sell, both examples using a 2-to-1 ratio. Thank you.